What's happening, friends? Welcome to episode 280 of Unlocked. It's the world's #1 Xbox show. I'm Ryan McCaffrey. I've got Destin Legary on my right, Maggie the Boxer in my lap, Alana Pierce to my left, and to my far left, Marty Sleva. Good to see all you guys.
The in my lap. No, the in my lap thing just made me laugh because what if it was like Destin in your lap?
Well, wait till next week's show. It's a
rotating lap. The rotating fifth lap.
Coming up on this week's show, we've got some more Scorpio stuff to talk about, some rumorage breaking about some specs about the machine, as well as the reactions to that, and Phil Spencer talking a little bit about Scorpio this week, as well as Prey getting a release date, which is going to be very interesting to discuss. And what else? Playdead, makers of Inside My Vote for Game of the Year 2016, they're teasing their next project already. So all that and more coming up right now, guys.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If you're not watching the video episode on our YouTube, which is, what's our YouTube link again?
YouTube.com/IGN Unlocked.
Thank you. You might want to take a quick peek because there is a special silent guest who's sitting right here.
That is Maggie the Boxer.
She's like, what are we doing? Why are we here?
She's a really chill dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Zero hot boxes this time.
I hope so. I particularally like her gray stubble. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I mean, she's 10 now, which is getting up there in boxer years.
All
but
dogs are so sweet.
I wanted to bring her because, not for everybody, but for you also, because 2 days ago was Maggie's second surgery, her mouth full of problems that all stemmed from that crazy near-death experience that I talked about last year with the vomiting blood and blood everywhere and the 1 a.m. emergency room visit. Well, the good news is, thanks to you setting up that GoFundMe, Alana, and thanks to everybody who was so kind to donate her, I think it ended up being like $7-something thousand worth of dental surgeries are done. And she is she has many fewer teeth now, but she has enough. I'm not gonna reach in and because it's all still stitched up, and I think she's still been a little
This was all in the
uncomfortable.
interest of removing the lesion under her tongue that was basically causing her to just bleed tons, right?
That was the genesis of it, which led to it turns out X-rays reveal. Which I know I told the story a few shows ago,
teeth.
But yeah, there were secret teeth. There were 90-degree total wrong angle molars. There were molars that never broke the surface that were causing problems with other good teeth. There were broken teeth down in the lower front that were just like basically floating infected roots of terribleness. So it was a just utter disaster in there. And I'm now just so grateful, thanks to everybody's support, that she has a good, healthy mouth again. I mean, she's got a lot fewer teeth, but she's got enough she'll live normally. She'll be fine.
Yeah, it's the best. She's such a sweet dog. And
yeah, she's incredible. So I thought I'm
glad we could help out.
I would bring her and show everybody what their generosity looks like, because it looks like 60.
Looks like a very excited Maggie.
So yes, I just cannot thank you and everybody else enough. Maggie, it is good to have a healthy Maggie again.
It's nice to have her here, but hopefully she doesn't fart this time. So
I will say, I don't know if it's the dental stuff specifically or medication, but I have noticed a distinct change for the better in that department.
Okay, I was really worried you'd be like, man, she just keeps farting.
Like you can hear things from time to time, but you don't really smell things anymore.
Okay,
No,
that's excellent.
if you go to the dentist, you fart less.
Cool. I should
Proven fact.
Cool.
Do you not want to be stuck in my lap? Do you want to be on the ground? You do, don't you?
You want to run around with all those
For the
cables
audio
here and
version,
this-
he was saying that to Destin.
Yeah, that was Destin. Yeah.
Okay.
Destin is now on the ground.
Down there.
Ooh.
That's actually, it's nice to not have a 65-pound fur boulder in my lap anymore. All right, let's talk
He
about
has a name.
So yeah, Destin, it's your turn.
All right.
Sit over here.
Oh boy. All right. Should we leave?
We should probably leave.
Marty, you're in the queue too, man. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Wait your turn.
Scorpio.
Get us out of here.
Let's just end the show now.
Oh, boy.
It's going really poorly.
Oh, great.
We should have stopped after the heartfelt Maggie part.
Yeah,
Yes.
we were nice for once.
Would have ended on a high note.
So anyway, the Scorpio
Yeah.
tech specs allegedly revealed. Digital Foundry got their hands on a technical white paper, and here's the short version of what they were able to learn. Do you want to read it, Ryan?
Yeah. So the Digital Foundry guys at Eurogamer whose entire niche, which is a wonderful niche that they carve out, is just analyzing. They do a lot with like frame rate testing and image quality in games. Well, they got their hands on a white paper, which is sort of a technical spec document for Scorpio, dated July of 2016, so right after the E3 reveal. The thing is, though, a lot of people have been asking me, "Oh, it's probably changed since then, right?" Like, it's not really how hardware works.
Yeah.
It has to be taped out and really set way in advance. It's not saying it can't, like it's impossible to change. It could, but I mean, the Xbox 360 famous story, they doubled the RAM from 256 megs to 512 very late in the game. But odds are, this document that Digital Foundry got a hold of was accurate. So we didn't learn any sort of huge revelations, but we learned that it's got 4 times the L2 cache, which is a good thing on the processor department. Delta color compression, I can't tell you what that is. That's over.
Oh, the DCC?
It's Delta Squad?
The DCC
That's a Gears of War reference.
But we also learned that, and it does look like the system's got 12 gigs of RAM, which is what was sort of speculated, that it can also and will have a rendering technique very similar, if not practically identical, to the checkerboarding technique that the PS4 Pro uses to what's the nice way to say this, Marty, without fanboys getting riled up? It's not native 4K, but it is a
upscale.
It is kind of an upscale. Yeah, but it's a really, like, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks great when you do it. And we learned that there's no ES RAM, which is sort of that's like probably the biggest hardware differentiator between the PS4 and Xbox One, which are extremely similar architecturally otherwise. Whereas the PS4 has 8 gigs of GDDR5 faster memory, the Xbox One has GDDR3, but then this little 32 meg cache of ES RAM, which is the super fast RAM, but it has to be, it's got its advantages and disadvantages. So that is apparently absent.
Wow.
Or presumably absent. I don't want to say definitively but it's there's no mention of it.
I don't know what most of that means, but this thing sounds full-blown next-gen to me, and I know nothing.
Thanks, Destin.
Do
ahead of me.
we know how Digital Foundry got their hands on?
I don't know if he said. I did watch Richard Ledbetter's video, but I don't remember if he said how he got it. But he was able to verify its authenticity. So
What give you an opening?
I know.
Yeah,
I appreciate
sorry, I
you.
just wanted to ask that question first.
What all this boils down to. So then, you had Ori and the Blind Forest, one of their developers,
actually knows stuff.
who actually knows things. This guy, Thomas Mailer, he posted on NeoGAF saying Scorpio is, quote, a full-blown next-gen machine.
Thank you, Destin.
Thank you.
I tried.
But really, in kind of the discussion of this, I watched Digital Foundry's video because I know a little bit about tech things, but not even a tenth of what they know. And they did their video, I thought, did a really good job of explaining it. And it really sounds to me like the sort of takeaway that he had was that this is probably based off of the same AMD Jaguar CPU architecture, rather than there's the newer, sort of the next gen version of that is the Ryzen, the Zen. So it looks like it's not the new Zen, but
It's not the Ryzen?
it appears to not be.
That's confusing because that New Horizons video that we saw advertises it as being AMD and Ryzen together. That was like there was a screenshot taken at
Right, CES, right?
Yeah, so that's odd.
So again, maybe that it's possible that's changed. Remember, this is from July of
it's
last
true.
year, so it is possible it's changed. But I think the greater point that my takeaway from this, from reading some of the discussion and looking at it myself, and I want to see what you guys think, it seems that maybe on paper, this Scorpio is going to be a little bit closer to a PS4 Pro than a full-on Xbox 4. And I know I'm already going to get hate tweets and comments for just saying
How
that.
dare you say Pro and also Xbox 4.
But I think whether that's true or not, what I think is important, something I've been thinking about a little while, I think people need to sort of properly manage their expectations for what Scorpio is going to be.
Also just towards
In
everything
general?
in general.
In general. But
Always.
I know I've witnessed it, and I'm sure you guys have too, that the Xbox, the failings and mistakes of Microsoft with the Xbox One around its launch and leading up to its launch are well documented at this point. And the console went from number 1 in North America and to a distant worldwide number 2 now. And I think Scorpio has been this almost
people are looking at it as a
messianic
savior.
figure.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. They're looking at it as the thing that puts Xbox ahead in terms of tech and hardware, so they really want that. And I think that it's just a brand loyalty thing.
It is. It absolutely is. But I just think it's important to understand that this is just going to be a faster Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not going to it's probably not going to change your life.
I mean, they straight up said at E3 that they're not going to be new games for this. Like,
Right.
The games that you buy and play on Scorpio, you're going to be able to buy and play on your launch Xbox One. So that's, I mean, what you said of it being more akin to a Pro as opposed to a full-blown, leap into a next-gen system. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I always expected,
Yeah,
but I
totally.
still, we've spoken about it a million times, but still totally have my hopes up that it's going to bring VR to Xbox. That maybe you should not be thinking that because I'm so excited about the idea of it that I should just dial it back.
What
but I
did we
want
say
that
about
so bad.
tempering expectations?
But VR.
You guys are all saying that. I'm not going to heed any of your advice. I'm going to continue to be overly optimistic about this. I think this is a big bet for Microsoft, and I'm playing devil's advocate partially, but I'm really excited about it until I see that box. I know when I see that box, that's when I'm going to get really, really hopeful about the future of Xbox. And when a dev is saying this thing's full-blown next-gen, I mean, he's probably accessing it for the first time and being like, oh my God, look at all these resources I have available. Man, I've been developing for this other platform, the PS4 Pro.
Well, they
haven't. Or he's just on Xbox.
I'm sure they know people who's worked on the PS4 Pro
Sure.
Yeah.
and the limitations there versus the Scorpio. I'm going to stay excited.
I mean, there's not limitations on the Pro. Like, the Pro is currently the most powerful piece of hardware on the market.
Right.
Yeah.
PC.
But I think
That's not hardware. I don't
console.
care about that.
Yeah, that's not real.
Yeah.
But here's what I worry about with the Xbox community and Scorpio is kind of the No Man's Sky effect, where No Man's Sky and Scorpio both announced very early with sort of pretty high level details only. Like, here's what we're going for. And then over the long stretch of time before they finally released, there's this people build up this idea of what they think it is and this ideal of what it could be, and then the final product, I mean, just can't in this case No Man's Sky didn't anyway. Even though it's a fine game, it's not a great game. But I worry that that's happening with people with Scorpio, where they've built it up to be because Microsoft's whole thing is, and they're not lying when they say it's the most powerful console ever made.
Yeah.
It will be, but I worry that and they did say 6 teraflops, but it's we don't know what 6 teraflops looks like on a screen. I just worry that people are they're setting themselves up for a letdown when this is a really good console, but not a total generational leap that a lot of people I think are.
I feel like the No Man's Sky parallel doesn't quite work because there was miscommunication in the marketing of that, right?
That's fair.
They promised things
that's fair.
that didn't end up happening and potentially never could have happened. It was just they didn't have PR, It was badly
Okay,
advertised,
I mean,
but-
that's
Totally
fair.
agree. And all Xbox is saying is, hey, this will be the most powerful home
right.
console
And so on that, I don't feel like
by a significant margin.
I don't feel like too many people are being overly excited about it. In that, I mean, we don't know anything about it. We want it to be a really good console. We want it to run games really well. But I feel like I haven't seen anyone comment that they think this is going to be the best thing ever made or that ever will be made.
I
I
have.
have.
The fact of the matter is, like, none of these things matter to me because none of these things will make a bad game good. It will make a good game better.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, all I care about is how are the games going to be.
You're
course.
100%
Absolutely.
right, Marty. And that's why E3 is so important for
Yeah,
Microsoft.
totally.
They need to come out of that gate swinging.
Yeah.
I guess my point is I agree with you about the No Man's Sky thing. Maybe it's not the best comparison, but I guess my point is Microsoft, they calculated the pros and cons of announcing so early at E3 last year, where they knew they weren't going to be able to give full details, and that, they knew there were advantages to that and disadvantages to announcing so early. But I just worry that the fact that they have only offered a few vague, rough details, that plus time in some sort of math equation equals inflated
Too much hype.
expectations.
It's Watch Dogs 1 effect, right?
Yeah. So obviously E3 will reveal a lot more, but I just think people should be prepared for this to be a nice upgrade, but not any sort of savior that's going to magically turn the Xbox into the #1 selling console in the world. Maybe it will, but you know, it's going to be an upgrade, but just check your expectations of how much it's really going to.
History shows software moves hardware, so it's going to be all about the games.
Yeah, and I mean, you're effectively pushing a common sense caution. Like, just, don't be overexcited about
I don't think we allow that in today's society anymore. There's no room for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it, but not in a way that I think that I can be disappointed about it, because everything that I know is based off of things that we've seen and in that trailer. Like, I definitely don't think I'm going to be disappointed in any way, but I'm also, I didn't expect it to be Xbox 4, and then I didn't expect it to replace the Xbox One. So,
but I've seen a lot of commentary online from some of those Xbox diehard faithful that really are sort of pinning a lot of their hopes on this being.
I think it's
going to be the best
being
thing ever.
awesome.
That's kind of what I'm like. Maybe people should be allowed to be excited. Like,
No,
that's just
it's
what it
not
is.
that at all.
I feel like you're seeing totally different
I
commentary
see
to
the
me.
backlash coming.
Yeah.
I can see it on the horizon.
Yeah, like if you don't want the No Man's Sky effect, you don't want people to get too excited and then hate this thing. Like, I
Exactly.
get that, yeah.
I want to see Scorpio's release be a celebratory, fun event and not it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. And I don't want it to see it ruined and turned into a negative.
I get where you're coming from. I trust Phil. I don't trust the people who were there before, and they've kind of cleaned house. And I trust the people in charge right now to give us good stuff, because that's all they've done since they've taken over is improve.
That's true.
So,
I'm
very hopeful for the Scorpio and excited about it.
I mean, I wasn't here for the whole, scale-bound discussion.
It got canceled.
Yeah, I heard about that.
The collector's edition is not coming with a dragon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But I will say, on the plus side, if this white paper does sort of indicate that it's based on the same architecture, but pumped way up, that does make it more probable that it hits that $399 price point that we've discussed the importance of. To reiterate, I don't think I don't care how powerful it is, given Microsoft's position in the market relative to their competitor, they cannot sell this thing for a dime over $399. I think it's doesn't matter how powerful it is.
Yeah,
They just
especially
can't do
when
it.
at that time a PS4 will probably be half the price of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On the Scorpio note, Phil Spencer came out and threw a little gas on the hype fire this week. With
riotous.
What do you say?
Yeah, he should maybe not do that.
Well, he's just being excited about the thing he's
Just committing arson.
Yeah, he's
It's fine.
I've worked on this for 5 years. He's allowed to be allowed.
he took to Twitter by saying, "Great day, Scorpio update with the team. Played my first games on early Scorpio unit. Games played great. Console looked right. Proud of the team." Destin?
That's awesome.
Console looked
React, excited man.
Yeah, in Phil we trust. The guy knows what he's doing, and he hasn't let us down yet. He's continued to improve, and iterate on ideas, and I can't wait to see what the Scorpio has.
You think games? He says games played great. Do you think he played that game that you've played, Crackdown 3?
Yes.
You played Crackdown 3?
I don't know if you've heard.
There's a third
but
Crackdown?
They tweeted about it a few days ago about playing the latest build or something, and that was pretty fun.
Sounds made up.
Yeah, the community manager I found the Sega version of Crackdown when I was in Chicago, and I took a picture of it, and I'm like, man, this took a weird direction. And the community manager said he played it, and it plays great. I also played it, in case people didn't know that.
Wait, the Sega version of Crackdown? What?
There was a Sega arcade game called Crackdown.
It's like a totally separate thing. I thought
Totally
that was weird.
different. Yeah.
Go figure.
Making my dumb jokes.
So
What does console looked right mean, do you think?
well,
visual.
he must have had it sitting in an entertainment center.
He
and
means
thought it-
the hardware itself. Like, I feel like that's
Yeah, the
such a
box.
strange thing to
Yeah.
say. Console looked right.
But which is
I
also
don't-
weird because I doubt it looks good now. I imagine it's just like a ugly box currently.
I don't know
Well,
about
like
that.
that
Remember, there were those zebra camouflaged units of the Xbox One that were out.
Oh God, don't look
really,
like that.
really early. But it was the final
Yeah.
box design. It's just
Yeah.
wasn't
I guess
the
that's
same,
true.
the fit
Yeah.
and finish.
Also, I saw for the first time a PS4 Pro dev unit. and it looks so cool.
Really?
I was like, I want that in my house. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's got
What is
like
it?
claws or something.
Yeah, usually dev units look like horrifying. This was like sleek, metallic, shiny, like
Nice.
really cool.
Well, I remember the PS3
Weighs 50
dev
pounds.
unit is like it's almost like a server rack.
Yeah.
Like it's this
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
you know
It's a PC.
Yeah.
no non-sexy looking thing,
Yeah.
but it does look like it could launch nukes.
You know, some of us think server racks are very sexy.
Don't kink shame. I really like those the Xbox One units that they gave to the engineers. I think it was that with the white controller that said I made this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Yeah,
such a
those were
sweet
great.
thing to
I mean,
do.
And that are they? I don't know if there's still a white one on sale. There was the Sunset Overdrive white one.
Sunset Overdrive, yeah.
I don't know if there are any white Xbox Ones still actively on the market.
Probably being pushed out by the Xbox One S at this point.
That's true.
Yeah.
Of course, you're right. But we'll see. The only question now is, are we going to see this thing at a Scorpio event before E3, or are they going to hold it for a huge, quote unquote, let's win E3 kind of blowout?
E3, then they do a tour across the United States.
Well, that's what we talked about, a few weeks ago, and we came to that idea of, that's how they should do a Xbox experience is
Roadshow.
do it in September.
Yeah.
Have it be the first place that fans, let fans come play the Scorpio before it's out.
Yeah, because I think like VR, it's gonna be a thing you have to sort of experience firsthand.
Yeah.
Well, I said United States because I live in the United States, but it would be worldwide.
Of course.
Yeah,
Canada?
that's right.
And also, I got to figure if Phil's saying that talking about the box looking right and the playing games on there, I would assume that if dev kits, proper dev kits, Scorpio kits haven't gone out, they are very soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Although
I would imagine, especially for them wanting to hit third-party games this fall.
yeah,
That has to be soon.
yeah, and I'm sure that developers are already operating off of PCs spec'd to an approximation of what Scorpio is going to be. But yeah, I bet those kits are going out. If they're not out there already. Destin,
Yeah.
Prey.
Let's talk about a game that will never let anybody down and be perfect.
Wow, you're really
Yike.
there's a lot of objective excitement here, huh? Wow.
Destin's in a good mood
Yeah.
today.
Totally objective. I'm really excited about this new Prey, and
too.
we found out today that it's coming out on May 5th.
That's coming
That
up.
is awesome. I feel like we just learned about it, but I guess it was E3.
E3,
I mean,
yeah.
Bethesda
But,
are doing really good stuff in that regard. Like, obviously Fallout 4's release was a really impressive thing where they're like, hey, here's 40 minutes about what this is. Play it now. I really like this
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that May spot, that's a really strong spot. That's sort
Justice.
of yeah. No, I mean just May in general. It's that's where they released Wolfenstein. We had
but
Doom
that's
last
specific.
year.
yeah, Doom last year. I think it's good to sort of just get this out before E3. In a way.
The only competition I can think of is Injustice. That's why I
Yeah,
brought
but
it
they're so
up. But
different.
it's so separate.
Yeah, I almost feel like
And
they're
it's-
not competition.
It's a week before, so
Yeah.
they're going to be totally out of the way of
Also different
the hype for
audiences,
that
though,
game.
I think. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
I
they're pretty
agree.
separate.
I
Yeah.
agree, but I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, what else is in May? That's big. Injustice, and that's all I can
Yeah,
think
usually other
Something.
publishers have planted a May flag in the ground by now because May
Yeah,
has been a big month in the past.
South Park
Alan
May?
Wake,
Not much.
Red Dead Redemption.
I'm sure we'll get a couple more games because I think as of when Injustice date was revealed, it was the furthest date we had. But yeah, I imagine every week in May we'll probably get a pretty cool game.
I'm pretty stoked about this game. Seriously,
Yeah, me
like
too. Oh,
yeah.
the psychological aspect of it and the fact that it's a space game. I like.
Did
I
you
like
watch the
space
new
adventures, so
gameplay
yeah.
trailer that accompanied that release date today?
Not yet.
Yeah, I took a look at it. It's the art direction's very BioShock, which is not a bad thing. But every time I look at it, and this isn't the criticism, it makes me nostalgic inside. Those like black smoke monster type things remind me of the XCOM reboot that never
Totally.
came out, where you
Yeah.
fought the black goo.
Yeah.
And even that game,
Did anybody see that besides like press?
media. So, I mean, there are videos out there
Oh,
of
okay.
it,
Yeah.
so you can go on YouTube and look at it. But even that game was BioShocky too.
Yeah.
So it's like this
Yeah.
is almost like that game finally coming out.
Yeah, and I love the I don't know, for lack of a better term, playful aspect of it. Almost reminds me a lot of Dishonored in terms of it seems like you have so many tools and mechanics at your disposal.
Yeah.
And
You guys
the
like
way
that?
I play it's gonna be so different than the way you guys play it.
Yeah, I also I loved the space parts in Wolfenstein: The New Order as well. Like, I kind of already know that they can do that really well. Like, I love those parts of that game. So it's like having a whole game set in that kind of setting from the same dev is awesome.
When
Those
I-
are different.
Wait,
This is art.
you mean Dishonored?
No, this is Arcane. This is a different.
No.
Oh yeah,
Is it
Wolfenstein.
Arcane?
was,
Oh, so it's
Machine
Dishonored
Gun is
dev.
yeah.
Oh, huh,
It's
I didn't know.
Arcane Austin.
Well, I already love them because Dishonored, so that's also good.
Well, yeah, and it's funny. Speaking of Wolfenstein and Dishonored, with Prey getting that May release date, and Wolfenstein was stealth teased at Bethesda's E3 conference last year in that like DOS
Yeah.
prompt list that they had on the screen.
Yeah.
I would have to presume that Wolfenstein's probably their big fall
November.
game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or
Announce and then
Evil Within
release.
2.
It's a possibility as
Yeah.
well. But what I'm
Be
hoping
far enough away from like Resident Evil.
I'm hoping that they do not try to ship Wolfenstein 2 in Q4.
Yeah, putting up against Call of Duty, Destiny 2, Battlefront 2,
Assassin's Creed Egypt.
Assassin's Creed Egypt.
Oh, I hope Destiny 2's this year.
Yeah.
That'd be an awesome
'Cause,
holiday for me.
I've talked about this before. I so appreciate, even though I'm not a fan of Bethesda's, obviously not sending out review copies and really sort of shunning the media, but I adore Bethesda for being more than any other publisher, placing such an emphasis and a quality and a focus on making single player first person shooters. They're the only publisher that's really all in on it.
Yeah.
And so I want to see if the games are good, which they're up till now they
Wolfenstein
have
do,
been.
yeah.
I want to see those do well so that we keep getting more of them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see Wolfenstein 2 get suffer the same fate that Dishonored 2 did, which was, a great single player first person game that ended up kind of getting killed in Q4 by all those, franchise monsters that
Well, I also
Marty
wonder
mentioned
if
a minute
that
ago.
is in part related to the review embargoes or us not getting copies early because I mentioned this before, but it means the critical conversation isn't there. So
Yeah.
people don't know to buy it. Like,
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
I don't know how much of an
I
impact
think
that
that's
really
a
has.
small
but
part of it, honestly.
I
don't
really
know.
think Q4 is that's when everybody that's buying 1, 2, or 3 games a year is buying games.
Yeah.
Is Q4. That's your, Grand Theft Auto every 5 years, Call of Duty every year. All those games we just mentioned too. And I just think that when those, and I don't mean it as a negative term, but let's just call them casual buyers. When those
Yeah.
casual gamers are coming looking for their shooter every year,
Yeah.
they're not as forgiving and enthusiastic about a single player only shooter.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
They
especially
want that full package.
Yeah.
They want that multiplayer. So that's why I think that's a big reason why Dishonored. I'm not saying a multiplayer mode itself would have helped Dishonored. I just think that game needed to not be in the fourth quarter. But
yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I really just hope that if Wolfenstein 2 is this year, maybe they'll end up doing like a February, March thing, 2018. But
Yeah.
I hope it's just like it's August, where it can get out when the market is still ready to bear and embrace a single player first person
yeah,
shooter.
I get that.
Yeah, and before people spent their money on things like Red Dead and Call of Duty and
That
Mario,
too. Red
and
Dead's the
Assassin's
other-
Creed and,
Yeah.
and Destiny.
Red Dead, that's right. That's going to be the meteor impact.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Maybe they were just like, well, let's just not release in that window, and they pick next year or something.
Hopefully, yeah. Like I said, I want to see those. Assuming it's a good game like its predecessor was, I want to see it do well so that we keep getting single player focused
Yeah,
shooters.
but I mean that's the problem for any publicly traded company is that you need to appease your stockholders and release games in fiscal quarters, even if that means something out to die.
Not always. Like
I mean, you can't have Baron.
Capcom back in their sort of 360 heyday was good about never shipping anything in
the fall.
in fourth quarter. They knew this. They stayed away
Yeah.
from it.
And they did like
That's-
a
They
lot of
did well.
March as
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dead Rising, Lost Planet. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not impossible. I guess there is that business side to it of managing your investors' expectations.
But
though.
also, I think they have very different stakeholders. Companies that
True.
come from different countries. So I feel like there's a lot of different influence there. But on that note, do you think that Bethesda would try, like aside from Quake, I suppose, to make a big multiplayer game that would fit in the competition of the end of the year?
As the
I mean, they have their
Quake.
sort of Quake seemingly free to play thing.
Yeah.
So.
But I feel like they're not pushing that very hard.
I would
haven't
assume
heard of
that's
it,
going to
so-
be that I would my guess. I don't want to say assume. I would guess that Quake Champions is a summer game, like because they can. That's going to be for a hardcore niche crowd
that's their
on
E3
PC.
playable thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll bet you that's like
That could be their launch.
QuakeCon. Here it is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, Bethesda, they've tried multiplayer and stuff like ESO seemingly didn't hit super hard, and no one really talked about the snack maps or whatever the Doom thing is.
Snap maps?
Snack maps.
Yeah, it's an interesting lineup that they have right now, and guessing the dates is pretty fascinating. But
Yeah.
you're right. I love Wolfenstein: The New Order. I really hope that Wolfenstein 2 gets a release date that encourages more people to buy it.
But at least Prey is. That's the good news out of all
Yeah.
this. Prey
Yeah.
in May is
In May.
I think that's gonna go well for them.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing it. Play Dead.
Yeah, they did
What?
for about a month, and then they teased the new game.
That was pretty good. You saved it.
Yeah,
That
say
was put that in the end of the year highlight reel. Destin Legary. Yeah, Play Dead, makers of Inside and Limbo. They are already teasing their next project a little bit.
Yeah.
And I do mean a little bit. They tweeted an image of concept art saying just about here's what they're working on. And it is a boy who appears to be wearing an astronaut helmet, dragging his parachute, his deployed parachute through a desert, while in the background there's like a falling comet or something streaking through the sky towards the horizon behind him.
Salt. Thank you. I will take it now.
All right. Enjoy playing that when you are 30.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be out for a while, but that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of tempered expectations, sell it to me now.
You're right though. It's like
Yep, we trust you implicitly.
I know that
Give us your game.
they teased what the game that would be Inside like 4 years early, but it was because they had to disclose something for a government agency. Like that's why that art had gotten
Oh,
out
I
there.
forgot
Remember
about
that?
that, yeah.
Mitch wrote that story up
Yeah.
for IGN.
What was it? Like the kid, right? In the logo. And that was
No,
it.
no
It
logo.
wasn't even the logo.
It was just
a
the kid.
picture of the
It was
kid
like
and sort of the color palette. and
Yeah,
all
it was
that.
a scene from the early part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would become.
But it was
the early-
totally like, yep, that's
straight
Inside.
out of the game.
Yeah.
So it led me to wonder, like, why, when they just shipped Inside 6-7 months ago, why would they be putting out concept art
Sleight of hand.
when we know, like, unless they triple in size overnight,
Yeah.
there's no way that game's out in less than like 4 years,
Yeah.
probably more than that.
What if it's
You have it. You
later
have it
this year?
You have it. It's definitely not this year. You have it written down here that this might be distraction from the sort of.
You can take credit
not-
for it. Go
not-
ahead.
What?
No,
Monty wrote
it's
this
just there
down.
for discussion purposes.
Yeah, but
You
there's
could be like, I was thinking about this, Ryan,
Yeah.
and
yeah, but there is a now public rift in the company between
Yeah.
the two co-founders, Dino Patti, who is leaving the company due to just drama, creative differences, the fact that they weren't him and Arndt Jensen, who are the two founders of the company, just didn't speak for the last couple of years of development on
Yeah,
Inside.
that's fascinating.
Yeah, and the company just sort of splintered, and
It's amazing
Dino's
that
leaving.
game's so good.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's I don't know. It reminds me of like Oasis, where like those two brothers are just awful monsters to each other, but just released like one of the best albums of the '90s. Yeah, so I mean, it could be like, hey, look at this, have faith in us, we're fine. You know, even though half the company or half the heads of the company are leaving.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think doesn't it have to be at least in some small way if not a distraction in the fake news sense, but in this just sort of, hey, no, look,
Everything's fine.
it's going to be fine. Check it out. We're working on a new thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of wondering if, because of the success, even just the critical success of Inside, that maybe Microsoft would give them a bunch of funding to hire more people for a studio to pump out more games.
They should.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah, after
That,
I mean,
that would be a
smart.
good
after
idea.
Inside, yeah.
I also very much wonder if they want that though.
probably not.
Like,
But I mean, maybe that's part of what the creative differences were.
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Art, I don't think he does interviews, right?
None of them.
very
do
yeah.
interviews.
Yeah.
He's very private. I met him before Limbo came out briefly, and it's like, can we interview you? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
And I never saw him again after that, like never at a show or anything like that. So I think he's just a private person.
Yeah, it could just
So,
be like a strange
A
company.
bunch of money and a new team might be pretty weird for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dino, as you mentioned, Marty, ended up being not like forced out, but kind of.
Yeah.
Like I think it was if I remember this right, the government there stepped in and
Yeah.
said, okay, here's what it's going to be.
Yeah, and again, there's no like sort of like the Rockstar Benzies situation. Like there's always the three sides of everything. His
Absolutely.
side, her side, and the truth. And so we don't know what was going on behind closed doors here.
But yeah, Dino Petty walking away with $7.2 million in exchange for his 49% of the company.
Must be
That
rough.
seems low to me. That I would think Playdead, after two incredibly critically acclaimed games, and Limbo definitely have sold a lot.
Yeah, just on
Cumulatively
basis of
overall, it's platforms, yeah.
I mean, we never saw like any milestones for Inside, whereas like we got the
Correct.
milestone for Firewatch. We never got that for Inside. So I don't know if it just didn't hit that, or if I could totally imagine this developer not wanting to flaunt sales numbers.
Yeah.
They don't say much of anything.
Yeah.
The departure could have also just been agreed to before the release or something like that, and so he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine
Yeah.
with that." And then Inside did well, and
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And the only, I mean, one of the plus sides of this is sort of like we've talked about with Irrational, like the one bright side of Irrational sort of falling apart. Well, not falling apart, but laying off a majority of its staff, is that they end up going elsewhere and sort of cross-pollinating different studios and forming new studios. So if this means that we now have two studios that sort of carry those core elements of what Limbo and Inside were, then that's good for us.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. It'll be interesting to see if Dino ends up starting a new studio and hires away half of the 10 of the 20 developers that they have at Playdead now. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I would, there could also be non-compete clauses, and you can't hire any of my guys. Or
I also imagine at this point that every AAA developer is trying to reach him and be like, "Hey,
It's
if
true.
you come to Ubisoft,
Probably.
what if you come here?" I can't imagine him at Ubisoft.
Rockstar should hire him.
Yeah.
Give him $100 million budget on a game. See what happens.
I like the idea of like him talking about games the way he talks about Inside, of like, "Hey, we want to record the audio for GTA 6 inside a human skull.
Yeah.
Are you guys fine with that?" And see what the Housers say to that.
They would say yes. That's the crazy thing. They're like, they don't. If it's in the name of creative,
I want to know what a Rockstar
Liberty.
indie game is.
I would
Like a
love to
Rockstar
see that.
downloadable game.
Unicycle, Uniracers,
Yeah, it's Uniracers. Yeah.
That sounds.
I would play it.
Damn it, Marty! You had to say that. Now
Yeah.
that has to
Yeah.
happen.
That's fine.
What if we just got GTA 5 single player DLC?
That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
You're never gonna get that.
I wouldn't be holding my breath at this point.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice?
It's nice to want things.
It is. Finally, this week, 2 new Xbox One S bundles. I just wanted to mention real quick because they're not sexy, but they are good deals. Both there's a Halo Wars 2 Ultimate Edition bundle and a Forza Horizon 3 bundle. The 1 terabyte machines with Xbox One
Yes.
S's in there, $350. So that's a nice deal for you're effectively getting the game free. And in Halo Wars 2's case,
You get both
it's
games.
the Ultimate Edition.
And like the season pass or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so that if you're looking to upgrade, maybe I know there are people that listen to this show that don't have Xboxes yet, and maybe if you're thinking about it, a couple good deals to be had right there. Destin Legary,
Yeah.
how can people spend their money this week in the world of Xbox?
You can get Resident Evil 7 Biohazard at retail. That is a game where you try and find the Resident Evil in a house and
Oh no, it
Well,
finds
they find you very quickly.
Yeah, no,
very,
they find you.
Yeah, within moments.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that game a little bit?
Please.
That game rules.
I mean, I've played the same exact chunk twice now, so I feel like I've already spoken about it. Oh, but I guess we don't have embargoes now.
No.
It's great.
Say whatever you want.
It's a very
I
good
love
video
it.
game. Yeah.
The boss fights are ridiculous and over the top and fun, while also being quite tough. Inventory management, weird, quirky puzzles.
Yeah.
I love it.
Despite the fact that it's such a paradigm shift in terms of going to first person, it's so much feels like the original Resident Evil in terms of tone, in terms of sort of the texture of the setting, like you said, inventory management, ammo management, the puzzle design, enemy design.
I think also the layout of the setting really reminds me of RE1 in that you kind of start in this enclosed area, and then as you unlock doors, things just sort of link together, and then you realize how big this area actually
Yeah.
is, and you can get through it through little
And
passageways.
it's
really
and it's
easily.
almost like Dark Souls, where you're like, oh man, I am so far away from home, and then all of a sudden you unlock an elevator that takes you right back to the Firelink Shrine. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is how this game works.
Yeah.
But by the time we launch this, we'll be playing it in VR on IGN Live, so you
Yeah.
guys can probably watch that VOD. But
Yeah, Marty and I also played the first 2 hours yesterday.
You can find it on YouTube.
Yes, that's on YouTube now.
I played about the first 3 hours in VR and just with the PS4. And for people that are wanting to experience it that way, I definitely recommend the Pro.
How far
because,
did you get? If I'm
I got
like,
to
were
the
you at
part
the
where
trailer?
you're hiding from the lady.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like hide behind stuff, and that bothered me because it was annoying. I like the game, and I saw where you guys got yesterday. You guys got further than I did, or at least you were showing stuff further in, and it opens up after that. It seems like into more scary things. I wasn't that scared. There were a few times it got me.
I think it's all that scary.
Yeah. I was really hoping for a really good scary game, like where I have to stop.
See, I'm happy it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
I did have to stop at one certain boss fight because I just found
You're frustrated.
No. I wasn't frustrated. I've anxious because
okay.
I was being followed in an enclosed space.
Oh yeah,
One of the fights with Jack that just like I wasn't scared. I was just like I really need to stop playing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it
I mean, it has a good atmosphere and it has some effective jump scares. It's not. Yeah,
I
I don't
like
have
it
like a
as an-
sense of dread playing it or anything.
no,
Yeah.
I like it as an adventure game.
Do you
Yeah.
guys recommend that I continue in VR or just play it normally?
I
haven't
haven't
played
played
it in
it in
VR.
VR.
I despite the fact that a lot of people playing in VR are saying that that's their favorite way to play it, I don't really have a desire to play it in VR.
I want
I
to
don't really want to either.
I want to ask an Xbox related question to this because I watched Chloe's video review.
Yeah.
And then I tweeted it out, and some of the responses I got made me think like, is it fair to say that it kind of is it a little condemned-ish?
Yeah.
Like if you want to dial, go all the way back to Xbox 360
You can
launch.
actually,
I don't
Kind of
really-
first-person melee, kind of a little
Finding
little
weapons
horror.
around and unlocking. I
Yeah,
guess.
a little bit.
Little bit?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I
I
think-
love Condemned.
Yeah, I think it feels like a little. It has a little bit of Condemned. It has a little bit of PT. Just a little bit of like how horror has evolved in the past 20 years since the series has started.
Yeah, it makes sense as a 2017 Resident Evil. It's up to date.
Yeah.
But it also has a lot of really nice throwbacks to all the stuff in the series.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to anyone who isn't familiar with Resident Evil, I think this is a great place to start. So I feel
Yeah.
like it's perfect
Also,
for everyone.
We've definitely been critical of some of the decisions Capcom has made over the past couple of years on the show, but like kudos to them for taking a risk and sort of really revitalizing a series that so many of us
Absolutely.
had written
Yeah.
off.
I'm
Yeah,
so
credit
gl-
where credit's due, for sure.
I'm so glad they totally changed direction with where Resident Evil was and tried this new thing. And it seems new. You say it's more of an homage to the first one, but for me, I'm just like, okay, I can get reinvested in this franchise because it's new for everybody. Like nobody knows who these enemies are or this main character is.
Yeah,
really.
that's true.
So it's nice to come in there and not have to like read up on the
Sure,
history of
it
Resident
doesn't sort of
Evil
have baggage like a new Kingdom Hearts game has,
Yeah.
where it's like, man, if I haven't put in the
Usora?
9 games,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think it's good for people who have played it before. I mean, I kind of touched on this, but there's so many things that, well, without any spoilers, there are references to the other games. So that is a thing that happens later in the game. But I don't think if you don't pick up on them, it's going to make any difference to your
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying not to spoil it, but yeah.
I'm happy though. I think I'm going to continue playing a little bit more to see if it kind of hooks me more. But I did enjoy the first few hours
Yeah,
that I
I'm
played.
stoked to play the rest.
I just think it's also really odd how their marketing made it look so much like Outlast when it really is Resident Evil and people were angry about it. Like, I feel like that's just such an odd
Outlast?
choice.
Oh, because
Well-
all the VHS stuff.
Yeah, they made it look like a really different game to what it is, and I don't understand why. It's a strange choice.
But we like it. That's the
We like it
Good.
a lot. Yeah,
Good.
tons.
What else is out there, Destin?
All right, so digital, we have Metro Racer 4 for
Moto
$40.
Racer. Racer.
That-
Motor
very
Racer.
different
I
thing.
also am can't read.
Do you like the Motor Racer series?
Yeah, big fan. One of the first games I ever played was Motor Racer.
Sure.
the assembly is
Right,
also
I remember that
available.
story.
The assembly is also available for $20. Metrico Plus, $14. Anybody know what that is?
Yeah, it's a 2D platformer.
Okay.
Cool art.
There's Toby, The Secret Mine, $10, and I Am Bread for $13.
Will be the secret. Game sounds stupid. Don't name your game.
You have a
Toby the
problem with
Secret Mine.
Toby the Secret Mine and not with I Am Bread?
No, bread rules. You ever have a sandwich before?
If you could change one
have
letter
sense, really.
in the Toby game, if you could turn that into Toby the Secret Mime, I'd be interested.
Ooh, me too. Wow.
Right?
I'd play
Right?
that. What's a secret mime?
Exactly. You'd want to know.
It's
Sure
amazing.
this isn't a typo? No, this is good. At the marketplace, there's going to be a new system update that's going out to Inside members very soon.
Yeah, Insider members, and this I don't have it on my system yet. I'm oddly not in the program, but it speeds things up. They really are getting back to the Xbox 360 guide button functionality. You know, we saw that kind of come back where you had to double tap. Now it's single tap, and apparently it really just flies right in. It's a lot quicker, and the progressive rolling back to the Xbox 360 dashboard that the Xbox One so desperately needs continues. And I mean, kudos to Mikey Barra and the platform team for just continuing to
Whittling
hone
honing
it based on feedback and
There are a bunch of bugs. Like when I was installing Resident Evil, I had to put in one code to get the game and then one code to unlock the game because it was
well, that's how
release.
yeah.
That's just
It turned my
infrastructure.
console off.
Oh,
I was
really?
trying to put the second code in, console turned off. When I had Gears of War 4, I tried to launch it, turned my console off.
Redeeming codes is a little strange. Like if you
It's
do it
specifically
online,
redeeming codes,
if
yeah.
you do it online too, sometimes they don't redeem, especially if it's like a beta or something.
Yeah,
like
and a
that.
lot of the time I'll try and like press the button to launch the code input, and it just won't open for a couple of minutes. Like there's a lot of really odd things there, but they are fixing stuff one by one.
Think about it. Remember what it looked like on November 22nd, 2013 compared to
Yeah.
what it
Black
is
and
now.
white.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's-
also still love that you can customize the color. I love that way too much. It's so great.
So games with gold. World of Van Helsing Death Trap, January 1st to 31st. That's on Xbox One.
Yep.
Killer Instinct Season 2 Ultra Edition.
That's on
January
now, yep.
16th to 15th. You may have missed The Cave.
Cave's over.
That was January 1st to 15th. Rayman Origins is still there, though. That's the 16th to 31st on 360 and 1. And then moving forward to February games with gold, we have Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
That game rules.
Good.
That game
It
rules.
sounds good.
Available from February 1st to 28th.
It's a very fun co-op game.
Project Cars Digital Edition, that is the 16th to March 15th. Monkey Island 2 Special Edition, February 1st to 15th. On
Look behind you,
360
Destin, a
and 1.
three-headed monkey.
Oh my goodness. Star Wars: The
That's a line
Force
from the game.
Unleashed. I actually dig The Force Unleashed, so check this one
First
out.
one's good.
It's available February 16th to 28th on the 360 and Xbox One. It's a decent game. It's really fun. You get to mess around with a lot of Force powers. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but it has a pretty cool story that you'll enjoy if you're a Star Wars fan. Probably not canon anymore.
Absolutely not canon anymore.
Good stuff. All right, our Unlock Block trivia this week comes to us from Joe. It's Joe. Joe.
Cool. What up, Joe?
He asks, by the way, he says, love the show, especially Destin.
That's so kind of you, Joe. Thank you.
Joe asks,
Is this you, Destin?
Yeah, it's me. That's,
which of these well-regarded original Xbox games that for one reason or another never received a sequel sold the most copies on Xbox? So which of the following four original Xbox games sold the most? And I'm just going to trust his numbers here.
Got it.
He did not provide the source of them, but was it Blinks the Time Sweeper, our friend, Kitty Cat, Brute Force, Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge, or Voodoo Vince? Which one do you guys think sold best back in the day?
I'm torn between two, but I think I know which one I'm going to go with.
This is hard.
Need to start bringing a pencil in here. So
Yeah, I don't know how we keep doing that.
We're trustful people, and
We're not great.
we don't cheat.
No, none of those are true.
Let Marty go first. No,
I know the answer. So
you know
I
it.
will
good?
go third. Yeah.
Alana, would you like to go first?
No. I really don't know. I'm going to guess Blinks.
Okay,
All right.
Destin,
So I'm torn between Brute Force and Crimson Skies, but I'm going to go Crimson Skies.
Marty.
It's the best game out of all these.
I mean, I don't know anything about sales, but I just know all the games except for Brute Force got sequels. So, Brute Force.
Oh.
Isn't that what?
What? No. Actually, one
Yeah.
of these got a sequel. Only one of these got a sequel.
Voodoo Vince 2 did. Blinks did.
No, Blinks had a sequel,
Did it?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Blinks
sure.
2.
That is up
Isn't there
to you
Crimson
to
Skies
determine.
too? Whatever. I'm going with Brute Force, and I'm far less confident in it now. I think I just read the question wrong. Let's go.
No, it's okay.
What is it?
All right, so wait. One more. It was
I said Crimson Skies.
Crimson
Said
Skies,
Blinks.
Blinks, and Blinks.
No, I said Brute Force.
Force.
Brute Force. Okay, good. This is everybody's. So
So everybody's wrong.
no,
Everyone still has
it's-
zero.
So Destin is on the board. It's Crimson Sky.
Damn. I really
Joe,
felt
you
stuff
rock.
about that.
You're right. Blinks did get a sequel.
did.
Didn't
Nothing
Crimson
else
Skies?
did. No, Crimson Skies never got. There has not been
People have
another
been
Crimson Skies game.
talking about please make a Crimson Skies 2 for the Scorpio, so that's why I went with that one. And like it was
There's no Voodoo
really
Vince
well
2?
reviewed. And
No, there's
like,
just the remaster coming.
Oh, dang.
Actually, that's supposed to be out like this.
I
wait.
thought there was a Voodoo Vince.
I got to
2.
follow up on that when we get out of here because that game's supposed to be out soon. So good stuff. Thank you, Joe. And Destin is already on his way to a third consecutive Unlock Block Trivia Trophy.
Dynasty.
I have to request that. Can
true
we start using some questions that I will be able to answer because I wasn't 12 when they happened? Because that'd be cool.
You know what? We're not ageist on this show. It's a level playing field.
Is it?
It is.
I feel like we get a lot of original Xbox questions. I'm like, I was super
Right.
young. I don't remember.
If I win 3 years in a row, can I start giving the trivia questions?
We probably should do it that way, actually. Okay, so if you would like to participate, maybe throw something more recent in for our younger cast members. You can you can email your
Just one.
Xbox-related trivia question, include 4 multiple-choice answers. Please note the correct one and email it to unlocked@ign.com.
Oh, you said that very IGN.com.
I'm out of steam here. I'm hungry and
Oh yeah, I'm hungry too.
yeah, it's time.
I have a meeting.
It's time to end this. I think we're already kind of over. So let's leave. IGN Prime, if you do not already subscribe, that is a nice way to not only support IGN, but get yourself an ad-free IGN experience in the process. If you're curious about that, go to IGN.com/Prime. It's $30 per year of that. Destin, what are you up to? What should we be? Oh, actually, you got a nice announcement here. Let's hear it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He's pregnant.
You want me to,
Babby
I
in
don't wanna
stomach.
You don't want
to
to?
announce that on the show?
That's fine. Okay, well,
Yeah.
then just tell us where we can find
Not
you.
pregnant.
So I stream every Tuesday and Thursday on twitch.tv/The Destin Channel. You can also find me on youtube.com/The Destin Channel. And yeah, so that's every Thursday. That's Pacific time at 8. Ryan, you
Fantastic.
threw me off my game.
Every
I
single
apologize.
time
I was
that you-
my heart was in the right place.
yeah.
I apologize for throwing you off your game.
I did launch a Patreon for something totally separate. And if you
That's
wanna
what I
know
was
more,
fishing on. That's
you
what I was
can,
going for.
You can follow me on Twitter at Destin Legary to know more about that.
Sounds good. Alana?
I just wanted to say every single time that you say your YouTube and your Twitch, I get annoyed that you didn't call it The Destination.
He did
Every
that.
time.
I have a separate channel called The Destination.
Why would you not have the destination for everything? If my name was Destin, I would overuse that so much.
I'll tell you later. But
Oh, there's a reason?
Yeah.
Oh.
Government
It's hung
owns
up in
that.
legal
Oh,
right now.
Right. Do I have anything to plug right now? Don't think so. What have I been doing? We've been unboxing a bunch of collector's editions. We got an exclusive for Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands, some other stuff I can't talk about yet, and also a awesome Breath of the Wild figure.
Oh, that's why I saw that. It was so
It's
good.
beautiful. Yeah, so that's up on IGN right now if you want to check those out. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Charalanazard.
Marty, wake up. Finish strong.
I'm at everything at Mick Biggity. We mentioned before, you can check out Alana and I's 2-hour Let's Play of Resident Evil 6, 7.
Yeah.
We're also just going to do Resident
Not
Evil 6.
6.
All right.
No, not
Yeah,
6.
the game sucks.
Yeah, we're also playing through Mass Effect still.
Yeah, we're playing through Mass Effect. I think we're about halfway through now. We made.
Put
we
it
got
in
the
for
right-
weeks yet, or do you think? That's,
Yeah, that's fine. That's
He's
fine.
going to finish. We will
He'll
finish Mass
finish
Effect
one.
1.
Yes. Yeah.
Whatever. I'll just take a couple days off beforehand and just power through.
It's fine.
But also, I think those Let's Plays are very funny. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully you enjoy them.
I think we're about halfway through the game.
Yeah.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Halfway.
we are. We are. For sure.
Sure.
I promise. We are. Getting there.
All right. You
Marty,
can-
you were on Pockets Full of Soup.
That was
It was
a long.
really good
That was a long time.
episode.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got emotional. If you haven't seen it, check out Jared Petty's podcast, Pockets Full of Soup. It's very good.
Are you talking about your favorite soups?
You were on the show. Did you just talk about soup?
Yeah, the whole time.
are you a Campbell's woman?
Yes.
Chicken noodle?
Yeah, I like a chicken
Tomato?
noodle. I like tomato soup.
Yeah.
I don't think so. We got in this argument. Do you eat soup or do you drink soup?
You eat it.
Thank you.
Okay. So far, I am the only human being in the world who says drink.
You can call it drink if you literally pull the thing up to your mouth and
Okay.
drink it. But otherwise, it's eating.
That's how I consume soup.
And you're drinking the soup.
Ryan.
For more, find out next time.
No, we're not.
I
gonna-
talked about all of the personal stuff that I'm working on we didn't talk about February. We have some really big stuff coming to IGN, and you definitely
Yeah.
want to.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It'll be
Justin's
next
pregnant.
next week, late next week. Stay tuned for that. Late this week, though, another the first breakout teaser clip of Unfiltered. Unfiltered will go up full episode on Tuesday. That will be of interest to everyone, I hope, not just fans of one platform or another. But yeah, shot 2 of them last week. You shot one of them. You were very kind to do so.
Yeah.
In a very never thought I'd shoot an interview in a room like that.
Yep.
That was a real weird room.
What?
Not that weird.
It's not that weird. It's just a weird place to have an interview. I
A
thought.
sex dungeon.
That was immediately what I thought of.
That's where your brains went. Okay.
Yeah, it's
It
good
was
to know.
definitely a
Wait,
sex dungeon.
I forgot the thing I'm actually proud of.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm not proud of any of our Let's Plays. As of when does this go up? Never mind. Talk to you guys next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Go to IGN at 10:30
I
p.m.
know
on
what
Wednesday
you're
night.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. And then, like I said, yeah, Unfiltered, the January episode, we're coming in under the wire. It's the full episode posts on Tuesday, but Friday and Monday we'll have sort of some breakout clips of some fun little snippets from that. And yeah, IGN First will kick off next week.
You're going to love it.
I hope so.
It's going to be good.
You definitely love it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wonder what it could be.
All right. Enough of that. Enough of that.
Wait, we already teased it. I went to Japan and visited Kojima Productions, and we have a little documentary about their awesome office, and we interviewed Kojima himself.
Excellent.
He made such video games as Zone of the Enders
That's a
And-
good game.
and Boktai, which encouraged children to
Please.
go outside with their Game Boys.
He's buddy, as Alana Pierce pointed out on social media today, he is buddies with
Really likes Mads
with
Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen.
He's tweeting pictures of him, and it's my favorite thing.
They're just bros. They're hanging out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think it's.
They were wearing kimonos.
I wonder
and
if Mads
eating-
Mikkelsen is like unsettled by it. He's
No,
like,
I bet he
Kojima
loves
just
it.
keeps taking
Yeah,
photos of
they're
me.
bros.
That's great. I love it.
I wish I mean I agree with your tweet completely. I wish I had someone that
Tweet about you
like that.
Yeah.
That's I would love that in my life. That would be good.
I'm sure Maggie would tweet about you if she could.
If she had opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. If she had opposable thumbs, that would make things a lot easier, actually.
Yeah, but then dogs would
Just-
take over the world.
Just like get your own
so
food.
okay with that. Dogs, please take over the world.
Let yourself out.
Yeah.
It's fine. Okay. Let's end this before
I get
Or
yelled
will.
at for being late.
Before
that
anything
too.
else.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you all next week.
Bye,
Bye.
buddy.